Hi there everyone, and welcome back to Christina Does. Today I am just going to briefly go over my first 30-day challenge, which was being a vegan for 30 days, a dietary vegan for 30 days, and the extra challenge was being able to do it on a $21 a week budget. So I just wanted to briefly recap how my 30 days went with being vegan and just sort of share my best recipes or best experiences from the month of January and some of my worst experiences from the month of January. And how did I handle being a vegan for 30 days? Well, I mean, I think I handled it pretty well. You know, I think I did alright. Oh man. It is so good to have cheese back in my diet. I've missed it so much. So I just wanted to briefly talk about some of my favorite recipes from the month of January. So my top recipe from week 1 was definitely the chickpea salad, which initially was going to be a sandwich, but I ended up not making enough of the bread recipe in order to make a full loaf of bread. And I made a side of rosemary olive oil bread to go with it. It tasted amazing. Sure, it didn't turn out like I originally anticipated, but it was just such a good recipe, and I'm definitely gonna just use it all the time now because it's super cheap. And I loved it. And my second favorite recipe from week 2, and week 2 was all about juicing, was definitely the biggest surprise out of all of them, was the beet, carrot, and orange juice, which I just made up off the top of my head. I was like, there is no way these combination of fruits and vegetables is ever going to work out, but when I actually tried it, it tasted delicious, and it was actually pretty inexpensive, and I loved it, and it became my new favorite thing. So yay for having a juicer, and now yay for having a really good recipe that I like. Now my third recipe that I really liked from week 3 was definitely the chili recipe for sure. The chili recipe with the side of whole wheat cornbread, which looked a little because of the whole wheat flour as opposed to regular flour. But the organic crushed tomatoes that I used for the base of the chili sauce was phenomenal. Like the organic the organic tomatoes tasted so different and so vibrant in comparison to what I normally get for half the price at the other grocery store. And I was really surprised at how fresh it tasted as a result, and just really flavorful. It was mind-blowing. So I'm definitely going to be using organic tomatoes as the base of my chili from now on, even if it is a couple extra bucks. You know, I think that the price that you pay for the quality is, in this case, worth it. So I definitely recommend giving organic tomatoes a shot in your chili just to make that flavor profile intensity thing just, you know, just elevate the class a little bit on a traditionally satisfying homey meal. Sure, let's go with that. And finally, last but not least, week 4, which was a series of 5 snack recipes on $21 because I am a crazy person. It is known. So out of the 5 snack recipes that I made, my favorite was definitely the Nacho Cheese, especially warmed up on top of nachos, which I did for the remainder of the week as opposed to just dipping my chips into it. I kind of made like a nacho plate and put the salsa on top. It was so good, and I felt like I was eating crappy food every single day of the week, but it was actually pretty healthy, so it was kind of a win-win. Yeah, like I am a huge cheese fan, as you guys probably could tell from the beginning of this video. And so to have something that was an alternative and vegan and it still tastes really good was really kind of phenomenal, because most of the cheese substitute things that I've tried, like that's been prepackaged and stuff, leave a lot to be desired. So to find a good nacho cheese that I can make myself, that was a little pricey, but it was definitely worth it. I definitely recommend checking that one out for sure. Now that I've mentioned the best recipes from the month of January from my vegan challenge, let's talk a little bit about the ones that... So for week 1, the recipe that kind of sticks out to me was the lentil and barley soup that I tried to make. And I got the wrong type of barley. I got more of like a rolled oat style barley as opposed to the barley pieces that you normally would see in like a beef and barley soup. And so my soup kind of turned into savory porridge, which was like not exactly what I was going for. It still tasted really good. It just kind of looked a little like mush. It was mush. From week 2, the recipe that sticks out most in my mind, that I was just kind of like, oh girl, no, I can never do that one again, was the celery and parsley juice. First of all, like, how much parsley you have to put into like a food processor or a juicer in order to get a juice, it's a ridiculous thing. Like, I got like that much juice off of a whole bunch of like a literal bunch of parsley. So I wouldn't recommend doing that in the future. Just put it on the side or something. I don't know. The celery and parsley juice that I made, it was, wow, an experience. And not a good one. But I mean, hey, if that's your thing, more power to you. It's just not my thing. Not my thing. From week 3, let's see, wait, hold on, what was week 3? From week 3, the recipe that just didn't work very well for me, that I didn't really get a chance to follow up with just because it just didn't, was I don't actually really like grapefruit very much. So the caramelized grapefruit, broiled grapefruit recipe that I made, I can't get past that. Grapefruit aftertaste is just not for me, so it definitely made my snack experience for that week a little miserable, because I was just kind of like, delicious. And for week 4, the recipe that didn't really work out for me, it tasted okay. It just okay though. It was definitely the lemon poppy seed protein bites. And a lot of it had to do with the protein powder that I used. So I ended up using unflavored pea protein that I found at my local bulk store. But the protein powder that the lady used in her recipe was different. It was sweetened. I think it was vanilla flavored as well. So it was probably a little more of a tasty experience. The protein powder that I used, I should have probably put a little extra sweetener in it and some vanilla extract in order to really help cut the proteiny, powdery taste to it. They were pretty dry too, which was just weird. Like, I've never really baked with protein powder before, so it was completely like, well, I guess I can try this and see how it goes kind of thing. And while the flavors were really nice, it was like a really bouncy texture with the protein powder, which was interesting. If I like literally follow the instructions and the recipe with the actual ingredients that the lady used in her recipe, I'm sure it would be 100 times better, but I didn't. So it just kind of tasted okay. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for the month of January. Stay tuned for February's 30-ish days of dating challenge. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks!